Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at the newest free DLC for Necromunda. Unleash the psychic might of the Delaque and bless your corpse grinder cults with free Necromunda rules. So free is always good. Apocrypha Necromunda Sump City Sinking. Last month we kicked off the new Apocrypha Necromunda series with free rules for the Psychic Ogren. This time around, we continue with more psychic chicanery as we head deep into Sump City with the new rules and a characterful scenario that's steeped in lore. So we see the new Spyker here leading some Delaque and some corpse grinders, heading them off. I mean, that's a super cool setup. Really, really nice looking piece right there. Extra dingy. I like it. That Necromunda terrain is phenomenal. Here's Owen Barnes from the Necromunda team to talk about this month's free download. Owen, in this, the second installment of the Apocrypha Necromunda, we explore the gathering shadows of the Great Darkness and the battles that foreshadow the events of the Aranthian Succession Cinderdark Burning. This month, we delve into the dark goings-on below Sump City, reputedly the lowest settlement in the Underhive of Hive Primus. In the hidden warrens under the Outland settlement, the Delaque come under attack from a savage corpse grinder cult. The cultists disease minds, driven even further into madness by the opening of the Great Rift. Along with the brand new Star Chamber attack scenario, you'll find extra psychic powers for the dreaded Delaque Spyker, or Spyker, I should say, making them even more deadly on the battlefield. Meanwhile, we prevent rules for the demonic possession, allowing players to have their corpse grinder cultists inhabited by the servants of the Lord of Skin and Sinew. So we have Spykers for extra psychic powers for the Delaque, and then we have demonic possession rules for the corpse grinder cult. So pretty cool. So here we see the actual download, and yeah, it looks like that is it. So let's take a look at that. And just a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for daily reactions, reviews, news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy, warcry, pretty much anything to do with tabletop, wargaming, and GW. So here we have, obviously this is a nice looking cover right here. So it looks like we have a couple pages of some lore right here you can take a look at. I mean, it's definitely presented in a way that this would be like a publication you would purchase. Alright, so the designer's commentary, new rules for the Delaque and corpse grinder cults. Presented below are special rules that will allow you to create the events described in the Sump City Sinking in the Arbiter's Wishes. These rules can be used by any Delaque or corpse grinder cult gang during a campaign. The Confluence of Shadows. During the Choose Crew step of the pre-battle sequence, any Spykers may choose to use the following weird powers instead of those presented in the Necromunda House of Shadow. So we have 3 new psychic powers. Crush is the basic psychic power. Target a single enemy fighter or obstacle that is both within 12 and line of sight of this fighter, and make a hit roll using the fighter's ballistic scale. If a hit is scored, an obstacle destroyed and removed from the battlefield, while an enemy fighter must make a save roll. If the save roll is successful, roll an injury dice and immediately apply the results against that fighter. So that was Crush, the basic. Next we have Witchfire, which is the double. All enemy models within 3 inches of this fighter suffer a Strength 5, Damage 2, AP -1 hit, as if from a weapon with the Blaze trait. So all enemy fighters within 3 inches. So that is pretty strong if he is surrounded by some enemies or close proximity. And then last we have the Mind Maze, basic continuous. Target a single standing and active enemy fighter that is both within 6 inches and line of sight of this fighter. The target must make an initiative test. If the test is failed, they change their statics to prone and pinned. Additionally, while this power is maintained, each time the target activates, they must make an intelligence test. If the test is failed, then any ranged or melee attacks they perform during their activation suffers a -1 penalty to hit. 1 additional enemy fighter may be chosen as the target of this power for each friendly Delaque fighter within 3 inches of the word that is standing and active. So that is pretty strong. That is pretty strong. Very cool. Definitely some cool stuff right there. Mix up your games. And then next we have Blessed by the Lord of Skin and Sinew. When a corpse grinder cult fighter with the gang hierarchy X special rule is activated, their controlling player may attempt to invoke the dark gods before performing any actions. So invoke the dark gods, this fighter makes a willpower test with a +3 modifier if they took an enemy fighter out of action in the previous activation. So substantially better chance of passing this if you just took out an enemy fighter the last turn. If the test has failed, roll an injury dice and apply the result immediately to this fighter. If the test is passed, the fighter gains the following benefits for the duration of this activation. So yeah, you don't want to fail this, obviously. So you definitely want to do it the turn after you take a guy out for your best chances. +1 to their strength, toughness, and attacks. All right, so that's pretty strong. And then roll a d6 at the end of their activation. On a result of 4 up, they can remove a single flesh wound or recover a single lost wound. Yeah, so that's that's pretty awesome. You end up with a bunch of like possessed corpse grinders running around just tearing stuff up. All right, so next we have the actual scenario itself called Star Chamber Attack. In this scenario, a gathering is interrupted when a rival gang attacks. So attacker and defender. Battle type, the scenario can be played at either a Zone Mortalis or Sector Mechanicus battle. Vehicles and war gear that grant the mounted condition cannot be included. Battlefield, set up the battlefield regular. Crews, the scenario uses the standard rules for choosing a crew as described in the battlefield setup section of the Necromunda rulebook. The defender uses the custom selection 8 method. The attacker uses the random selection D3+2 method. And then for deployment, the defender deploys their crew within 9 inches of the center of the battle. The attacker then deploys their entire starting crew within 3 inches of any battlefield edge. So that is pretty cool. So, I mean, it's pretty basic, but obviously gives like a nice spin to a scenario. Gang tactics. Choose 2 gang tactics from the available to their gang. If during the pre-battle sequence one player's gang rating is less than another player's, you can randomly determine 1 additional gang tactic, or for each full 100 credits of difference. So that's pretty cool. It gives them extra tactics. If they're under costed, 6 rounds. Victory goes to, at the end of the battle, the attacker has at least 2 fighters within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. Then they are the winner. Otherwise, the defender wins. So you got to stay alive if you're the attacker and keep 2 guys within the center. So you basically have to like claim that point. Rewards credits. The victorious gang adds 2d6 times 10 credits to their stash. The losing gang adds a d6 times 10 credits to their stash. Experience. Each fighter who took part in the battle earns 1 XP. If a fighter takes the opposing leader out of action, that fighter earns an additional D3 XP rather. And then reputation. The vicious gang gains a D3. Reputation. The victorious gang gains a D3 reputation. If either gang bottled out, they lose 1 reputation. So pretty cool overall. Seems like they put a lot of work into it. Obviously, it is on some nice paper. Looks like something you would literally get in a book. I do like when they put out releases like this, so you feel like you're still getting new like missions, content, etc. But without having to buy into all the books, so they're more of an option. But pretty cool overall. I have to say, it's definitely a neat little scenario. I like the idea of the demonic possession. And then obviously the Spyker, cool model. Obviously seems to have drawn some inspiration from, a cartoon starring one Will Ferrell. I mean, he definitely looks like Megamind. I thought he looked cool right off the bat. And then I saw all the like memes and everything. And I was like, well, he still looks cool, but you take him a little less serious. Let's be real. But this is an awesome, awesome picture right here. Super cool. The corpse grinders are definitely like the most gruesome, like coolest gang in the underworld for sure. But very, very cool. Or the underhive, I should say. I do like this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. If you're going to be playing this scenario, let me know down below. If you play one of these 2 gangs, which you're excited for, or if you play some different gangs and you'd like to see this kind of content for all the different gangs out there, that is pretty cool as well. My main gang as of now is the Enforcers. I really like them. I think the overall aesthetic and everything, they're pretty cool and fun. And obviously one of the newer gangs, my brother plays the Corpse Grinder, so I'm sure he'll be excited to try out some demonic possession rules as well. So if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to like and subscribe for daily reactions, reviews, news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and of course some Horus Heresy as well. But that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel, and it's absolutely free. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.